Hi y'all, I just got back from the most spectacular estate sale. The house was beautiful, there was a lot of stuff, but most importantly, the family had so much love. As I get into my haul, I want to share a little bit of their story that I learned from the hosts of the estate sale. That love note and photo are two pieces that we found in the closet from the couple whose house we were rummaging through. While I'd like to have a level of respect for their privacy, there were personal photos everywhere, their names were on everything, and the estate sale was public. When you walk into the house, everything was seemingly untouched. Everything was intact just the way they had left it. And when you start touching their belongings, you get so emotionally invested in this family. And I found myself becoming so entrenched in their life and questioning how they got to this point. Their possessions were obviously of great travel and wealth and accomplishment, and all I could do was wonder what their story was. There was a lot of Asian-inspired decor, and there was also a prominent equestrian theme as well. And when I went upstairs, I noticed there was a young child's room where everything was completely intact too, which is pretty bizarre for an estate sale. Sadly, it's not unusual to go to an estate sale for an older couple or a single elderly person that passes away, but it's very unusual to go to an estate sale for a couple with a young child that leaves every single thing, where nothing looks touched, where nothing is cleaned out, and the whole house is completely for sale, which was the case here. Based off of their possessions and what I was seeing throughout the house, I'm trying to piece together what stories could possibly make sense in my mind. Was it a sudden trauma, a car accident, a military situation, a deportation? What could possibly have happened to this beautiful family? I desperately needed answers, and I was coming up with any possible scenario because I just felt connected. I'm sure the suspense is killing you. What I understand from the people that were running the estate sale was that the father of the family was a prominent CEO, and he unexpectedly passed away about a month ago. And the mother of the family has dementia and unfortunately doesn't have the mental capacity to handle the estate or to understand what's actually going on right now. Pretty heartbreaking scenario. As for the child, apparently she just turned 18 and she's off to college. So it's pretty heartbreaking to hear a young child lose one parent physically and another parent mentally, and she's having to deal with managing the whole estate on her own and doesn't have any other siblings. From photos in the house, I learned that they were an older Caucasian couple and their daughter was of Asian descent. I assume she was adopted, and through photos I also learned that she was into horseback riding. She had an extensive book collection, a collection of snow globes, a collection of American Girl dolls, and it looked like they were quite loving and fostered her hobbies and were a big fan of hers as she grew up through the years. So love was a major theme throughout this family through all the years, as you could also see through the love note that I showed you at the beginning of this video. If you haven't already, definitely check out my video of my walkthrough of the estate sale prior to this video. From what I showed you and what I've expressed to you, I hope you can understand why this was such a compelling story and such a unique experience for me, and that's why I wanted to share. These people had a ton of money and had fairly humble living situation considering. They gave their daughter everything. She had so much stuff. Her awards were all over the house. They were very proud of her accomplishments. They'd traveled the world and had souvenirs to show for it everywhere. They were in the Peace Corps. They adopted a child from Asia. You could just tell that there was an immense amount of love, and they had such big hearts. So the moral of the story is, I showed up for an estate sale today to buy some people's junk, and I left leaving so grateful and so fulfilled with a renewed sense of love and gratitude. These people have everything, but they didn't have their health. They didn't have their mental or physical well-being, which is most important, because at the end of the day, we can't take any of this stuff with us when we leave this earth. Don't get it twisted. I did leave with a whole bunch of stuff. This is how I make a living, and I'm still on this earth. As I learned from Marie Kondo, I only purchased the things that brought me joy. If it didn't bring me joy, I let it go. And if these things bring you joy, then you can buy them on my Poshmark and eBay. And I use the term karma for your closet because the karma of these items is how these pieces are paid forward in the universe. And now we know the story behind where all of these great items come from. And it brings me great joy to know that the legacy of these people and the love that they had for these pieces will continue to move forward onto me and onto you and whoever else these pieces land in the hands of. Finally, the last story that I'll share with you was when I walked into the master bedroom. In the rear of the bedroom, next to the window, there was a nightstand with a plant on top of it. The bed had already been taken out of the room, but I could tell that this plant had been sitting on the nightstand probably while they were living in the room. Since the nightstands were still spaced out in their original locations in front of the windows, you can tell that they had been there in their original location. Well, anyways, I saw this plant thriving and happy and growing, and I just knew, since this was the only plant in the entire house, that this was a special plant to the woman that lived there. And I could just imagine that she would wake up every day, water her plant, and take care of it, and it was something that she loved and nurtured. So I took this plant home with me, and I'm going to continue to love it and nurture it as she did, because I just felt connected to this family. I knew that they were full of love in that house and in gratitude, and in their honor and legacy, it's just a special piece that I wanted to take with me. So while I bought all of these other tangible items, this was something special that I'm going to keep for myself, and I just felt connected to. Thanks so much for joining me on this storytime haul. I'm sure it's not the video you were anticipating, but enjoyed it nevertheless. If you see anything that you like, feel free to message me on social media, or you can check out my stores at eBay or Poshmark. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.